passion, your ability is the leader inside you. For what you don't need any title. It taught me to be the first, the most, the only and the best. Cheerful morning to respected principal, teachers, my dear friends and all the bookworms watching me over here. Since the moment I unbolted the book and printed the letters from the book into my eyes, my nerves are completely enthusiastic with such positivity that the only message being transmitted to my brain tells me about how to lead, how to raise the culture of your organization, how to accomplish your task with full focus, better efforts and good ideas. But not only to my brain, also to my soul it told how turbulent times create great leaders. And the most dominant key point, the very much important, it told how to become a leader without any title. At the beginning I thought the book is similar to those normal leadership criteria books. But while reading it, my eyes were getting more brightened. After completing the reading, the leader that was constituted inside me was leaping energetically to come out and live a very better life. This book gave world the leaders whose leadership was not just bounded in the 5 letters of its title. This book gave world the leaders who not only knew to lead but also to grow more leaders. And so here we come up by more than 6 million copies were sold within just a week. Yes, this is the leader who had no title, written by the very famous Canadian writer Robin Sharma, whose success is unbelievable, unpredictable and also unbeatable. From the monk who sold his Ferrari, the 5 a.m. club, the leadership guidelines, author comes up with an inspiring parable where he explains the skills to excel in your career in life. And so it marks as one of the brilliant books that notifies you about how each one of us have a potential of doing something, of chasing something, of being the best without really worrying about any kind of title. Giving all to whatever you have and starting from wherever you are will make you a passionate person, a leader in you. And here I came across Black Davis, a very ordinary, normal, depressive, kind nature of person. But from New York. He worked in the Bright Mind Library as an employee. But his ordinary life was transformed into an extraordinary one when Tommy Flea, in the form of his unforgettable mentor, kept his hand on his shoulder in one corner of the library. When the concept of LWT, leadership without title, the basic principles, and those 4 teachers who taught and inspired Tommy, when all these things were told to play, he felt that till now he was not able to sing the song which his life always wanted to sing. Till now he never helped anyone from the bottom of his heart. Till now he never inspired anyone. Till now he never left those ordinary things. Till now he never took risks because of which he never got reward. Till now he never lead his life by himself, and so till now he never became the leader. But when LWT, concept of leadership without title, was explained to him by Tommy, where he claimed that wherever you are, either it may be your home, your factory, your office, your class, your association, wherever you are, you don't need any title to become a leader. Doing your work more effectively, more efficiently will make you a leader within yourself. A more productive one, a more progressive one, a more innovative one. From this book, the world understood that victims do complain, but the leaders will create. Honestly, the book is different in so many ways. Firstly, its narrative, it helped me to remember all the principles given there. It made me feel and attain satisfaction of being in each phase of my life without any title. The author had delivered a very interesting and fantastical story. At the same time, he came up with the practical life principles for becoming the self-best. While it was very difficult for me to keep down the book as It motivated me and put me busy to convert those words into my actions to become a leader without any title. If I strongly wanted to suggest you anything, will always be to get this book because it will determine the human being in you, the passionate person in you, and surely it will determine the leader in you who had no title. The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma by Jacob Publications, worth rupees 1 side. Thank you and a very happy reading.
A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. Very truly stated by George R.R. Martin. A quote always kept close to my heart. Being a reader, I can confidently say reading is another lifestyle choice that helps you to develop your own personality. Wishing you all the best for the day. I am Srishti Adve, a 10th grader at Stella School, Rajura, Maharashtra. Louise Laurie, an American writer, born on 28th March 1937. She is a writer of several books for children and young adults. She is also known for writing about subjects, matters, and complex thinkings in works for young minds. Laurie's Number the Stars is a simple novel about a Danish girl's contribution during World War II. This novel has been awarded by the Newbery Medal in 1990. It's an amazing book as it's worth your time. It shows the life of Anne Marie Johnson during World War II. It's an incredible story. It shows how life was during Nazi occupation of Denmark in 1943. Hope you will enjoy this story. This novel tells the story of Anne Marie Johnson and Ellen Rosen and families, particularly the close friendship between Anne Marie Johnson and Ellen Rosen, who have grown up in the same building and have been best friends throughout their life. The story explores the event leading to the Holocaust and the treatment of the Jews by Nazism. Rosens were the Jewish people. The Rosens ask the Johnson to take care of Ellen so that they can go for hiding and will come back when they can. While Ellen is with Johnson's, Nazi soldiers came looking for her and her parents, and she pretends on instruction of Mrs. Johnson to be the Anne Marie's sister Liz, who had died some 3 years ago, and that day Ellen was rescued. The next morning, Mrs. Johnson decided to take Ellen to the Uncle Henrik's farm on Danish coast, leaving Mrs. Johnson behind to resemble like Mrs. Johnson and girls have gone on a vacation. Uncle Henrik was a fisherman who helped people travel to Sweden through sea route. After some days, Rosens and several other Jewish people arrived at Uncle Henrik's accompanied by Peter Nielsen, a friend of family who was once engaged to Liz and who has been working secretly to help the Danish Jews. At the midnight, Peter and Mrs. Johnson bring the Rosens and others to Uncle Henry's boat. But when Mrs. Johnson returns at the dawn, she finds that the important packet Peter had entrusted Mrs. Rosen fell out of Mrs. Rosen's packet. Desperately, Anne Marie runs to bring to him, not knowing what it is. She was stopped by the soldiers in the woods, who insist that their search dog smells meat. They searched Anne Marie's basket and found the hidden packet in it, and discovered to their disappointment that it was just a handkerchief. Later, Anne Marie discovered after delivering it to Uncle Henry before he set sail that the handkerchief was an invention meant to destroy the dog's sense of smell so they couldn't find the people hidden on the boat. Because of Anne Marie's bravery, the soldiers who search Uncle Henry's boat don't find them, and Uncle Henry gets safely to Sweden. The message of this book was clear. Number the Stars explores the theme of bravery and friendship. I have taken many lessons from Number the Stars. I learned about courage, trying to understand people's feelings, and thinking about people in trouble. This book definitely held my interest. Although it was not so difficult to read, it was very interesting.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am Samek Patil from class 10 CBSE from Stella Maris Convent High School, and today I am here to give you a small book review of the book which I have read, and the book is The Story of My Life, and the author of this book is Helen Keller. This name is somehow familiar with us, and always we hear this name. As all we know that she was a specially able child, or we can say differently able child. But her success is fronting in such a way so that today also we admire her. So let's begin with the story. The story begins with the Helen recollecting her past. She tells that she was born on June 27, 1880 at Tuscumbia in Alabama. Her father was a captain in the Confederate Army and descended from Caspar Keller, a native of Switzerland. Her mother, Kate Adams, her father's second wife, was belonging to a well-educated family, and the house where she lived with her parents was called as Ivy Green, and the whole house and its surroundings were covered with a beautiful English ivy. Helen was like any other normal child, enjoying her surroundings. She was the first child in the family, and her father wanted her to be called as Mildred Campbell, after one of his ancestors whom he admired the most. But soon after a little confusion, she was named after her grandmother, Helen Adams. During her early years, she was self-asserting child, and she was told that she walked on her first birthday. But soon in February, she was laid down with fever, resulting in hearing and sight loss. During those traumatic days, her mother was always there to care for her. Gradually, she got used to the silence and darkness. But the memories of her first 19 months remained deep. Now I will share with you the characters of the story. In this story there are many characters, but the major characters are as follows. Arthur H. Keller. He was the father of the Helen Keller. He has served as a captain in the Confederate Army of the US. Also, he has worked as an editor in the North Alabamian newspaper and the Marshal of Alabama. When he came to know that his daughter was suffering from an specially able disease, and somehow he came to know that his daughter was different from a normal child, then he started to travel all around to find an intelligent teacher for his deaf and blind daughter. And finally, he could find Annie Sullivan, who lived with her all through her life. After he died after a heart failure disease when Helen was just 16. Now we may go on the second character, and the second character is Kate Adams Keller. She was Arthur's second wife and also the mother of Helen Keller. She was always supportive, and with her indomitable spirit she raised Helen. With her positive attitude towards Helen made her always see the light at the end of the tunnel, and she did everything for her child.
What does a teacher make? She makes a difference in the life of a student and consequently in the life of society and nation. Teachers are one of the more influential people in the lives of anyone, particularly children and young adults. They shape their future. Hello everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Sarthak and I am going to be speaking to you today about a book titled Teacher a Beacon. The author or writer of this book, Claire Uken, in this book writes everything about the relationship between a student and a teacher. This book consists everything about the teacher. In our Indian culture, we call teacher as the Guru. Gu means darkness and Ru means light, which when put the syllabus together, it means the person who takes you out from the darkness. In the words of Scott Haddon, teachers have three loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the both loves together. We humans have been on this planet for a very long time, and each generation has been a teacher to the next. Imagine if each generation could not teach and communicate its learning to the succeeding generation, then the entire world will be grouping in ignorance. The author also writes that we remember with gratitude the teachers who have had a positive influence in our lives. Hence, this book is a tribute to the teachers of all times. Here's a book that brings together the experiences of teachers who have embraced the very demanding mission of teaching, certain that their dedication and hard work bear abundant fruit in building up a society that strives after true values. The book includes thoughts, poems, and articles written by other writers. One of them is the alphabet for teachers. A is for abundance of questions and hearing. B is for the both inward and outward beauty. C is for creative learning.
Respected principal, teacher, friends, fans and facts of book. This book is adapted from J.K. Rowling's most popular children's novel series, Harry Potter. This is one of the best novel series. The author has framed the story in such a way that it makes us to believe in the wizardry and witchcraft, even though it is not true. First, when I heard about Harry Potter stories, I thought it is just a story made for small children who can easily believe in the witchcraft and wizardry. But when I read this book, it actually forced me to believe in the witchcraft and wizardry. The book which I read from this series is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. A boy whose parents were dead and he was left orphan was taken by his Aunt Petunia. When he was 11 years old, he learned that he was a wizard. He was a kid of two powerful wizards, son of Lily and James Potter. This book is full of fantasy. There are the things mentioned like a wand, a broomstick, Quidditch, a wizard game, wizard chess, etc. This book shows the heroic adventures of Harry Potter with his friends Ronald Weasley and Hermione Granger. It was their first year in the Hogwarts School of Wizardry. As the youngest of all, he was the youngest seeker in the Quidditch game, as it was in his blood. His father too was seeker in the Quidditch game. He does the magics without learning it. As he learned that he was a kid of two most powerful and popular wizards, he also was famous. Professor Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall believed that he would be also most powerful and popular wizard as his parent. For learning more about wizardry and witchcraft, he was called to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. As it was the first year, the students were sorted into 4 houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw and Slytherin. Harry Potter and his friends Ron and Hermione were in the Gryffindor house. According to the students, according to the behavior of the student, each student was given 5 points. But Harry misbehaved many times. A lot of time he misbehaved. So, as if any student misbehaved according or broken their rules, 5 points were taken from the person.
Hello everyone, I'm Jigyasa Singh from class 9th B. Today I'm here as a participant of the book review competition. The book that I decided to review is I Am Malala, an autobiography of a young Pakistani girl who decided to stood up for the right of education of little innocent girls. She did something that was impossible at a very early age. She introduced herself by writing this book. She mentioned all the life events that happened when she was trying to fight for the girls' education. Malala was born on July 12, 1997 in Mingora, Pakistan or Swat Valley. The area was covered by the Taliban's attack. Malala started her schooling from the school that her father has found. And soon they came to know that her area was taken under the control of Taliban and they started attacking that area. Malala decided to raise a voice against them. She gave a speech and the title was that how did Taliban take away my basic right to education? At a very early age, she decided to fight for the girls' education. In 2009, when she was just 11 years old, she decided to blog for BBC and she gave many speeches around the world. At the age of 11, she decided to change this world. She tried to change this world, which was impossible. In order to hide her identity, she named herself Gulmakai. Her activism resulted her in the nomination of International Children's Peace Prize in 2011. And in the same year, she was also nominated and awarded the Pakistan's Children's Peace Prize.
A very great evening to everyone. Myself Nainika Balki and I am from class 8B from Stella Mary School and I am glad to be a Stella Mary student. I am here to give you all a review on story named The Thief Story from the book named Kumabharati. The story was written by an Indian author of British descent named Ruskin Bond. He was born on 19 May 1934. He was an adopted child and lived with his family in Landore, Mussoorie in India. He got the Sati Academy Award in 1992 for Our True All Grow in Dehra. And also he was awarded by Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. So now let's talk about the story. The story name is The Thief Story. In the story, the writer has said that there lived a robber who was just of 15 years old, but still he was a thief. And one day he met a man named Anil. He was about 25 years old, tall, handsome and cold. The thief said that he was cold because he was not too friendly and the thief always make friends and rob them. But it was not as same as before for the thief. Anil was cold and he was not friendly. So the thief thought that it is much harder than he had thought. He went to Anil and asked him about himself, but as Anil was cold, he didn't reply him much. He said just yes, no.
Good morning everyone, myself Shri Kasanjiba Mary from class 8B. Today I am here to give a book review on topic A Life's Adventure in Wonderland. The author of this book is Lewis Carroll. I would like to say something about Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll was an English writer of children's fiction. He wrote the famous book A Life's Adventure in Wonderland. He wrote many poems too. He was also known as mathematician, inventor and photographer. He was born on 27 January 1832 and his death anniversary was 14 January 1898. The story centers on Alice, a young girl who falls asleep in a meadow and dreams that she follows the white rabbit down a rabbit hole. She has many wondrous, often bizarre adventures through the illogical and very strange creatures. She grows as tall as a house and shrinks into 3 inches. She encounters the hookah-smoking caterpillar, the Dulces, and the Cheshire cat. She attends an endless tea party with the Mad Hatter and March Hare. She plays a game of coquette with an unmanageable flamingo. The coquette metal and uncooperative headers with coquette boys.
Good morning to all. Myself Nihit from class 8B. Respected principal, teachers, my dear friends, fans and fans of books. Around till 19th century, there was a time where the birth of girls was a crime. The education was not allowed to girls. There were rituals of child marriage, large discrimination in boys and girls. The widows especially were considered as bad luck. There were very strict rules for widows like untouchability, not eating sweets, not touching bride's clothes, sati, etc. On 3 January 1831 in Naingaon, Satara, a girl was born. She was the great Savitribai Phule. She was only of 9 when she married to Jyotiram Phule in 1840. He was fond of education and he decided that he would educate his wife, means Savitribai Phule, and his life changed. The society was not accepting that the girl should be educated. She had struggled very hard to achieve this. When she walked on streets, the people used to throw stones and dunks on her, but she didn't give up. She endured them. She used to go to Christian missionary school for education. And later on she became a teacher, which was her dream. She was the first Indian woman to become a teacher, the first female teacher in India. Later, Savitribai Phule and Jyotirao Phule started India's first school for girls at Bhidewada in 1848 in Pune.
Myself Samruddhi Penti from class 7th B. This speech is delivered by Martin Luther King Jr. He was born on 15 January 1926. I Have a Dream. I Have a Dream is a public speech that was delivered by American civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. on the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom on August 28, 1963. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation and Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon to hope to millions of slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the life of the colored American is still sadly crippled by the manacle of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the colored American lies on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the colored American is still languishing in the corners of American society and finds himself an exile in his own land.
A very warm good morning to Honorable Principal, teachers and my dear friends. Myself Shravani Maravi standing before you to deliver the declamation on Honorable Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was widely known as the Missile Man of India, as he has invented India's first rocket, which was taken to the destination with the help of cycle. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam inspired us a lot in reaction and adaptation of failure. He always worked harder and harder not to achieve his dreams, but to give the reaction to the failure. He always worked very harder and harder to achieve his dreams and to inspire us a lot. His dreams become thoughts and thoughts create actions.
Very warm hello to my all dear friends. My name is Arno Rajendra Mohan and I am in class 7C. And today I am going to talk about APJ Abdul Kalam, who is also known as Missile Man. He wrote the books like Wings of Fire, Spirit of India, etc. And his motivational speeches inspired me. And I am also going to declare the same. So let's begin. Today, on this beautiful day, thinking about Swami Vivekananda, I am happy to see young people. I want to share a thought with all the youth present here. I have met so far 11 million youth like you, and I have seen their hopes, I have experienced their pains, walked with their aspirations, and heard through their despair. From all this, I learned something about youth. I learned every youth wants to be unique. That is you. But the world around you is doing its best day and night make you just everybody else. Now the question is whether you want to be you or everybody else.
Everyone, myself Aksharamu from class 6th CBSE. Today I am here to deliver a speech by Malala Yousafzai. She is a Pakistani social activist. She is the youngest Nobel Prize awardee. She has given this speech on 12th of July 2013 at the 8th takeover of United Nations at such a minor age of 16. Here goes the speech. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful, respected elders, and my dear brothers and sisters, I don't know where to begin my speech. I don't know what people would be expecting me to say. Thousands of people have been killed by the terrorists. Millions have been injured. I am just one of them. So here I stand, one girl among many. I speak not for myself, but for all girls and boys. I raise up my voice, not so that I can shout, but those without a voice can be heard. Those who have fought for their rights to live in peace, their rights to be treated with dignity, their rights to equality of opportunities, their rights to be educated. Dear friends, on 9th of October 2012, the Taliban shot me on the left side of my forehead. They shot my friends too. They thought the bullet would silence us. But they failed. And then, out of the silence came thousands of voices. The terrorists thought that they would change our aims and stop our ambitions. But nothing changed in my life except this. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born. I am the same Malala. My hopes are the same, my ambitions are the same, my dreams are the same.
Myself, Mrunal Dineshwargane from class 6B. Today I am giving a speech. The title of the speech is My Visions for India. This speech has given by the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in the Indian Institute of Technology in Hyderabad. He tried to realize people that their duties and motivate them to build a stronger India. I have 3 visions for India. In 3000 years of our history, people come from all over the world and invited us, captured our land, conquered our mind. From Alexander onwards, the Greek, the Turks, the Mughals, the Portuguese, the British, the French and the Dutch. All of them came and looked us. We have not conquered anyone. We have not grabbed their land, their culture, their history, and tried them to enforce the ways of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is why my first vision is freedom. I believe that India got the first vision in 1857. When we start the War of Independence, it is freedom must be protected and nurtured and built on. If we are not free, anybody will not respect us.
Greetings to everyone. This is Sanskrit Sandeep Kundekar from class 6th Stella School, Rajura. I stand before you to declaim one of the greatest speeches of independent India, A Trust with Destiny, given by our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Letter towards the midnight of 14th of August 1947 to the Constituent Assembly of India. On the eve of India's independence, the speech not only covers the struggle of millions of freedom fighters for independence of India, but also reminds us our duties and towards our sacred mother India. Jawaharlal Nehru was born on 14th of November 1889, was an Indian independence activist and subsequently was the first Prime Minister of the India. Considered as one of the greatest statesmen of modern India, was a central figure of politics before and after the independence. He still holds the record of longest serving Prime Minister. His birth anniversary is celebrated as the Children's Day on 14th of November in India.
Respected principals, teachers, and all my dear friends. Good morning to all. I am Miss Kavedevi Daswande from class 5th CBSE. I am here to present a speech on topic Mahatma Gandhi. On topic Mahatma Gandhi. On 31st January 1948, Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated by a Hindu nationalist Nathuram Godse, who was also a member of Hindu Mahasabha. This day as more. The people and the whole of the country was full of sorrow. Mahatma Gandhi was a great and powerful leader of India. Gandhiji played a very important role to get our India free. He started many political movements like Civil Rights Movement, Dandi March, Salt Satyagraha, etc. Gandhiji was a great follower and piece of non-violence.
Good morning, my dear respected principal, teachers and dear friends. I am Pragati Rajendra Janikar from class 5th CBSE. I am standing before you to deliver a speech of Kiran Bedi, First Lady IPS. Success is not a skill. Success is not a skill. Success is called will. And when you will have the skill, but only when you will have the will, that you succeed, friends. Otherwise, success eludes you. Skill many people will have. Skill many people will have. But who will in the end win? That has the willpower. The will is the main thing. And willpower does not come overnight. It comes by practice. And when you practice all through this age, which you are being called, you will be successful in your life. You will be successful in your life.
Good afternoon, everyone. My beloved sister, teacher, and dear friends. Myself, Asta Narendra from class 5th A CBSE. Topic is my friend. A flower opened to meet the sun, and I brought my friend to see the petals open to the sun, and to me and him. We opened our hearts to the sun, to the flowers, and to each other. See what the difference it makes to us. Respected principal, teachers, and my lovely dolly friends. Friends meet on this earth by this earth by change and change them together. Portion of the ways friendship is the only God that will
respected teachers, my respected sister, and all my dear friends. My name is Ovikar More from class 3rd A CBSE. Today I am presenting a story. The story name was Glass of Water. Once upon a time, a physiologist was teaching stress management to the audience. She was a lady. The lady was speaking very confidently. Between her speech, she held a glass of water and asked to the audience, "What is the weight of this glass?" Many answers were given by audience. 60 gram, 50 gram, half, 1/4. Many answers were given by audience. She says, "If I hold this glass for 5 to 10 minutes or half hour, my hand will feel painful for little time, but then I will feel normal. But if I hold this glass for 24 hours and whole day, my hand will feel paralyzed." She said. Then she said, same is of our life. If we think about particular painful thought and forget it, we will feel normal.
one of the story. One day, two cats found a piece of cake. They started fighting for the cake. A monkey saw two cats fighting. He took a cake and made it two parts. He said, these two parts are not equal. One is bigger than another.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected sisters, teachers, and all my dear friends. I am Rajura from class 4B CBSE Stella School, Bamanwada, Rajura. Today I am going to tell a good story on woodcutter and the axe. Long ago, there lived a woodcutter in a small village. He was sincere in his work and very honest. Every day he went to the forest and cut trees and brought wood back into the village and sold them to a merchant and earned his money.
My roll number 29, my class 2nd A, and poem named Baba Black Sheep. Sharing with the live joyful Baba. The movie share the movie have Baba. Sharing with the live joyful Baba. The movie share the movie have Baba. Baba Black Sheep, have you any food? Yes sir, we back for. One for my master, one for the day, and one for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba White Sheep, have you any good? Yes sir, we back for. One for my master, one for the day, and one for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba Brown Sheep, have you any good? Yes sir, we back for. One for my master, one for the day, and one for the little boy that lays down the Principal, teachers, and my dear friends. My name is Kanambari Kichar Kothe, class 2nd B. Name of the poem, Drip Drop, Drip Drip Drop. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop. Raindrop, no stop, see the umbrella, let's go. Raindrop, no stop, see the umbrella, let's go. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop. Raindrop, no stop, see the umbrella, let's go. Raindrop, no stop, see the umbrella, let's go. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop. Peacock dancing, children dancing, and the frog is hop hop hop. Peacock dancing, children dancing, and the frog is hop hop hop. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop. Drip drop, drip drip drop, pretty pretty raindrop.
Respected sister, teachers, and all my dear friends. My name is Muhammad Ali Khan, class first A. My school name is Stella Convent School.